Hi, welcome back. If you join me for the lower body portion of this, if you're just joining me for the upper, then hello. If if you've done the lower body portion, I'm going to do a little bit of a spiel, the same spiel I did for the lower body, so you can fast forward until you see me lying on my back. Um, so I wanted to offer a tool, right, to kind of help deal with all of this craziness, the stress, the anxiety, the tension, right? And all of that tends to manifest, right, in our body physiologically. Whether that's through our muscles kind of feeling tight or tense, like we're holding on to something, right? This here, these guys, right, these tennis balls, is really powerful and effective tool for an easy, accessible tool for us to help relieve some of that tension, that pain. Um, Sorry, I'm just gonna look at my notes. um, yeah, to improve our mobility, right? So a lot of us are stuck at home, maybe a little bit more immobile, more than usual, right? Because we can't necessarily go out to all of our classes or the gym. So this is going to help improve mobility, our range of motion, and really, most importantly, just create a deeper connection to our body, which really is important during this time, right? Because it's the only thing that we really have control of. Everything is so out of control, everything's so uncertain. This really gives us an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves, building our self awareness, um, our self care, and beginning to kind of map our body, right, to deepen our body sensing. Right, so we're going to use these balls to map and sense and become aware of our tissues, our body, and kind of technically, physiologically, what these balls help do, right, is help softening the tissue where there's tense or there's tension. Um, and even beyond the muscles, so all the connective tissue that's in and around and on top of and through all of our muscles, right, creating this almost kind of like more fluidity in our tissues, right? So when our tissues are fluid, right, we are fluid, okay? So better movement, better feeling. So we're gonna start lying on our back. Also, if you block, please. So if you don't have a block, maybe a more firm pillow or a hefty book, or maybe folding up a blanket, but ideally a block, something with a harder surface. Maybe if you don't have a block, maybe a blanket with a book on top. Okay. So let's come to lie on our back. Just have the balls handy, block handy, and your knees are going to be bent. Okay. Alright, so arms long by your side. I just want to make sure your feet are hip width distance and you can kind of graze the back of your heels. Okay. Just take a moment here, a few breaths, allowing yourself to come into your breath and maybe a little bit more into your body, right? So getting out of your head and into your body, into yourself. See if you can feel your back body along the length of your spine yield to the earth. So just letting it soften down to the earth. If you can, just notice that maybe where there's those points of tension, where you're holding on. On your next inhale, we're going to begin to move a little bit. So on your inhale, lift your pelvis, sweep your arms overhead, right, for a dynamic bridge. I have stuff in the way here, so on your exhale, go ahead and lower pelvis and arms. So doing that a few more times. Inhale, reaching overhead, pelvis lifts up. And then exhale, go ahead and slowly lower all the way down. One more time. Reach overhead. Notice the range of motion through your shoulders. And then lower down. And then grab both balls. Okay. And we're aiming for our low back. Okay. So above the rim of our pelvis, again, that's the iliac crest if you watch the lower body portion. But below our ribs, so there's this point between our hips and our ribs. Right there, there's no bone. So we're gonna put on either side of our spine. I'm gonna get up and show you real quick on my back body where that is if you're not sure. So the top of my hips, my pelvis is right here. So the balls go right above that. So they kind of snuggle right on either side of the spine. Right, but underneath my rib cage starts kind of right above these balls. Okay, so that's kind of where you want to feel, where you want to be. So find that spot. And it might not feel like anything at all. And then just lift your pelvis just a little bit off the earth and just begin to sway your hips from side to side. You may feel sensation. You may need to adjust the balls a little bit. So there's a lot going on in this low back area. So you're just going to keep swaying. If you find like a spot, you can go ahead and hold there. I think my neighbor is playing music really loud, so maybe you hear it, maybe you don't. He's singing too. I don't know if you can hear that. That's great. I love it. All right, so you're swaying your pelvis from side to side, or maybe you found the spot and you're holding there. If you're swaying your pelvis, just come to stillness. And then everyone's going to release their pelvis. So it's really just like their tailbone's going to hit the earth. Makes you have these balls in the way from getting your whole sacrum down. And then you're just going to kind of tuck your pelvis, right? So maybe it lifts off the earth, right? So maybe squeeze your glutes. And then relax and press the tailbone just gently down into the earth. Right? So you're moving through posterior, so tucking, right? And anterior tilt of your pelvis. So this is just kind of softening. There's this kind of large sheet of connective tissue called the thoracolumbar fascia here. So it's kind of loosening that fascia, so maybe we can get a little bit deeper. So it's more superficial than to some of the muscles in the deeper connective tissue. Just do it one more time. So now we're just going to work on the right side. So remove the ball from the left side. And then bring the ball into your right hand. So that was on your right side. You're going to grab your block. And you're going to lift your pelvis up and place the block long ways, right, at your low back. So not at your sacrum, right? So usually in yoga we're used to putting it underneath our sacrum. So it's under your low back. Right, and make sure you can you have that area where the right ball was on the right side. And the block kind of covers that area. And then you're going to place the ball right back where it was, but the block's there now. So to the side of your spine, in that little nook, right, above your pelvis, but below your ribs. Okay. And then, oof. Okay, and then you're just going to begin to let your knees maybe fall over to the right. Maybe you can kind of like slide your pelvis off the block a little bit. And then bring your knees back. And then slide them over to the right and then bring them back to center. Just a few more times here. So this is specifically targeting the muscle called the
For short, it's called the QL, quadratus lumborum. Right, it connects our pelvis to our rib cage. So deep inhales and exhales here. It's also an accessory breath muscle. So if it's tight, it's not going to allow our rib cage to fully lift, right, during the exhale. It's going to restrict that. That's restricting our breath. And then come back to center, and then remove the ball, lift the pelvis, remove the block. Let's move to the other side. I'm just going to change my orientation so you can see. Okay. So just one ball for now. Have the block ready. Lift the pelvis. The block long ways goes underneath the low back, not right. The hip may be on it, but it's not at the sacrum like it usually is during yoga. Okay. And then you're going to take the one ball and place it right in that nook. Okay. So your knees are just kind of going to move over to the left, and maybe you slide. I don't know if you can see that. So like slide your pelvis down off the block just a little bit. Oh yeah, there's a spot. So you can kind of just gently sway legs out to the side and then back to center. So this muscle kind of hikes our hip. So for those of us who sit cross-legged or sleep on one side, this might be a really sensitive area. Or have that kind of like FU attitude standing posture, which I know I used to have a lot, especially when I was younger and not so aware of how that would affect my body. And then come back to center. You can go ahead, get the ball out from underneath of there, block out. Have your feet hip width, arms on by your side. On your inhale, lift your pelvis and your arms. Hold here for an inhale and exhale. Feel the length along your low back. Reach your tailbone towards your knees. Then as you exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Bring your feet wide and go ahead and windshield wiper from side to side. Alright, bring your knees towards your chest. And go ahead and roll to a side or roll forward and back. We're going to make our way into table. So wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. On your inhale, go ahead and begin to arch your spine. Tailbone reaches up. Gaze forward. Shoulder blades sink together. So really feel your shoulder blades come together. You're going to crack a nut in between them. And then as you exhale, press down through your hands. Your spine rounds. Your tailbone reaches down. You feel your shoulder blades move away from each other. Go ahead and do a few rounds here. So really feeling how this range of motion through your shoulder blades so it feels. And also through the length of your spine. I mean, do you feel like you can articulate through each vertebra? Or maybe you feel stuck in some areas. One more round. Alright, come back to neutral. Go ahead and curl your toes under. Lift your hips back and away for downward facing dog. On your inhale, go ahead and come forward into plank, knees down if needed. And then on your exhale, go ahead and come all the way down to the earth. All right, so you're going to grab a ball. And I'm actually going to change my orientation so you can see better. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of pec work, so front body work. All right, so I think most of you know what your pecs are. They're your chest muscles that kind of sweep up, right, towards the collarbone, kind of the medial part of your collarbone, and then come out, right, to your arm bone. So we're gonna so you're gonna feel your arm bone, right, bone, 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 bone. Then there's this kind of meaty part, so it's underneath your collarbone, but right inside of your arm bone. So that's where you're gonna place the ball. And you're gonna come to lie on the ball. Let's do the right side first. Sorry. We'll do the right side first since that's what we started on our back body. So find that spot. Arm comes out to 90 degrees or maybe a little bit less than 90 degrees, right? It's going to depend, right? And then you're going to use your left fingertips so you can roll onto your right side. Right? And maybe you don't roll as far as you usually do when the ball's not there. And then your head can come down, or maybe you grab a blanket or a block, and you have just a little bit of pillow for your head here. And then once you kind of feel the tissue around the ball relax, if you want to play with the sensations, you can press your hand down, your arm down into the earth. You should feel the muscle kind of pop out into the ball, right? So you're activating it, and then soften, right? Soften that press. Maybe do that a few times. So where this ball is in the kind of the upper corner of our chest, right? So you have your main chest muscle, the pec major, and then the one under it, the pec minor, which again is also an accessory breath muscle. It helps lift the rib cage on the inhale. And this in general can be a really sensitive area. So again, finding your breath. We're not doing a lot of movement here, which is fine. So there's probably a lot of sensation because most of us are pretty tight, right? These muscles are usually a little bit shorter than they should be because of all the kind of computering and couching and phoning and texting and interneting, all this stuff. One more inhale and exhale. Right, slowly roll back onto your belly. You can get the ball out from underneath. I don't know if you heard that. That was my neck. So, other side, left side. So again, to the inside of the arm bone, underneath the collarbone. Okay. Come to lie down. Have the block or blanket handy. Then using your right fingertips, go ahead and shift onto your side. This side I can get a little deeper, I think. For sure. Okay. Pillow ready. All right, take a few breaths to soften into mapping your chest muscles, kind of becoming aware of this area of your body. So through my self-body work as well as working on others, I have noticed that kind of opening up this front body, this pec area, your chest area,
And these type of stretches, and maybe even incorporating the tennis ball like we are now, really can help relieve tension right in your neck and upper back, which a lot of us have. Again, because just kind of how life is, and especially now, right, with all of us are so tense and right on the verge of maybe a freak out that we're all wearing our shoulders as earrings nowadays. I don't even need these anymore. I can just like drape my shoulders from my earlobes. This side is just so much easier to settle into than the other side. The other side was quite difficult. So again, right, so when you have this difference, we'll all have differences from side to side. The side that is more challenging to settle, right, is a side you should stay on longer. Right? So that means there's a little bit more tension, there's a little bit more work that needs to be done there. So just noting that from side to side. So hopefully I'm giving you these tools, these basic tools, really to help fold this into your movement practice, whatever that is. Take one more inhale and exhale. I could just lay here forever. And then remove the blocker blanket if it's there. Come to lie on your belly. Remove the ball. Right. So I'm not going to switch my orientation, but so go ahead and bring your hands in line with your sternum. Okay. Ground down through the tops of your feet, your pubic bone, the front of your pelvis. Inhale. Let's come up to a baby cobra. And then exhale, go ahead and release. 2 more times. Inhale, come up. You can lift up a little bit higher each time if you want. Really feel your shoulder blades coming together here as you lift up so heart can come forward. And then release down. All right, so we're going to flip over onto our backs. But before I do that, I'm going to show you kind of where we're going, where the balls are going to go before I come onto my back. So you can go ahead and lie on your back and look at me. Hey, look at me, look at me. Everything's about me. I'm such a Leo. Okay, so we're going to travel up our spine to our mid to upper back. Sorry, I may need to move. Sorry, my butt's in your face, in the camera face. Okay, so we're going to travel up our back, and we're going to use both of the balls, and they're going to go, so you should be able to feel, at least with one hand, kind of where your shoulder blades are. You can go ahead and move your arm if you're not sure. So the balls are going to go below your shoulder blades on either side of your spine. Okay, so like right about here. It's still in the thoracic spine. It's right around like T8-ish. If that doesn't mean anything to you, then fine, who cares? For those of you who are curious, it means your thoracic vertebra 8. So come to lie on your back with your knees bent. So then you're going to find that spot on your rib cage, either side of your spine. So you're not on your spine, right? But you're below your shoulder blades. There, ooh, there we go. Oh, it's pretty intense. I feel it on my right side more than my left side. And all we're going to do here is breathe. So really, really deep breaths to feel the rib cage expand out into the balls on the inhale. And then exhale, feel all that tissue soften around the balls. 5 times total, so at your own pace. Really using the balls as feedback for your breath.
See if you can even feel your ribs move, right, along the surface of the ball as you breathe. Let's do one more round. Even if you already did 5, do one more round. Just because it's so yummy. Okay. So bring your arms on by your side. You're going to attempt, right, because the balls are basically going to stay in the same configuration, right, on either side of your spine, but we're going to try to shift them up. So instead of taking them out and putting them back, we're going to attempt to lift our pelvis, right, and just kind of scooch down. Right, so the balls are in between our shoulder blades. Oh. And just in case, you're going to know if you find this spot, right? But I'm just going to get up and show you real quick. Hopefully you can see. I wish I had a skeleton here so I could show you. Am I far enough away? Yep. So scapula here and here, right? Your wings. They go in between your scapula. I don't even know if I can put them up that high. There we go. Oh, I lost one. So I'll just show one. So in between your scapula on either side. So you can kind of maybe even see my scapula winging out there just because of the orientation of my arm. So it's inside your scapula on either side of your spine. Okay? Hopefully that was visual enough for you. So now I need to re-find it. So you're going to find that. Maybe have a block handy. You don't need one, but maybe have it handy. Okay. There it is. Okay. Those of you who have come to my yoga classes, we've been here before. We've done this before. So options, lift your pelvis. It's going to load, right, more weight, right? Load more weight into the balls, right? And maybe it's here, maybe you shift your pelvis from side to side. So I'm going to run through some options and then you play around. So you're shifting your pelvis from side to side, your weight from side to side. Your pelvis can stay up or down, right? Or if you like it up, but you don't want to hold it up, block underneath the pelvis. And then you can play around with your arms. So you're getting into the traps and the rhomboids specifically here. So the actions that are going to help create more sensation, more awareness of this area. Hug yourself. Right? So it's more like a vampire hug. So like you're going to wrap around and grab your opposite shoulder blade. Right? And then you're going to open up. Your elbows are going to press down into the earth. Right? And then bring your shoulder blades together, like you're going to crack a nut in between your shoulder blades, like we did when we were in cow pose. Right? So hug. And then crack. Hug and crack. And you can even do like space arms. Arms are in space. Anti-gravity arms. So moving your arms in all these directions, right, is kind of playing into that kind of natural scapular rhythm that happens, right, thus affecting all of the tissue around it, thus affecting the sensation, your body mapping, your awareness. So play. So we're going to be here for about 1 more minute. This feels so good. There's a reason. Ooh. I forgot what I was going to say. That's really, really intense. Soften your forehead. Notice if you're clenching onto your forehead, your throat, your neck. Right. If you're on a block or your pelvis is lifted, remove the block, lower the pelvis down. So same thing, we're going to attempt to shift down our mat so the balls roll up our back. And this time we're coming. Can you see? Yes. Oh, yay. Maybe I'm going to switch my orientation a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Right, so it's coming right to the top of your shoulder blade. So it's almost at the point where like the balls are going to pop out, but they don't. Right, so it's on either side of your spine. Can you guys see where that is? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. All right, so same thing, arms long by your side. So again, I don't know if I can show, I'll try to show it to you. Seated, just in case if you're not sure, if you can't really tell. So, the ball is going to go, your shoulder blade is here, right at the top of your shoulder blades, at your back. Hopefully you can see that. Right, not at the top of your shoulders, still on your back body. Okay. So find that spot. Okay. Might not feel like much yet. Have your block handy. Lift your pelvis. And keep your pelvis lifted. You're just going to press your feet kind of down towards the bottom of your mat. So you start kind of shifting, right? Chugging, 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 chugging. So good. And then come to stillness. And if you have a block underneath your pelvis, go ahead and release the block down. If having a block underneath your pelvis is too much sensation, take the block out. All right. So this is an area I'm sure we're all familiar with, right? That we feel a lot of tension that goes up into the neck and maybe even shoots down into our shoulder, our arm. Right? These muscles here, right? That kind of lift our shoulders up when we get all tense, right? And then again, kind of the lifestyle, the computing, the sitting, the texting, just kind of exacerbates all of that. All right, so what we're going to do, reach arms overhead. So really actively reach, right? If you have a wall behind you, you can even use a kind of press into the wall as you reach up. And then slowly arms reach towards your feet. So actively reach. And then sweep your arms out wide and then up. And arms reach down towards your feet. So again, you can play with these. It's kind of like snow angels. So you can even just go up and down if you want, like truly snow angels, right? Pretending that maybe we're outside and there's like a foot of snow on the ground and we all have these really awesome snow suits on and we're just making these angels and we're all laughing, right? Because that's what we need right now. Well, if you find a spot, you can even begin to kind of shift your weight from side to side. Again, changing the load to change the sensation. Just about another 30 seconds here. So good. I would encourage you, right, because most of us hold so much tension in this area, right? There's a reason that saying that we hold the weight of the world on our shoulders exists, right? Stay here for a while, even if it's just in stillness, to help soften this whole area and bring awareness, right? Your brain, right, realizes, right, this connection you're making between your brain and your body. All right, for now, we're taking the balls out. Please stay longer if you want to, or come back to it. All right, lift your pelvis off the block if it's on the block. All right, we're gonna roll to our side. So roll to your right side.
Or really whatever side is facing the camera. I'm gonna start on the right side because that's what we've been doing. And we're going to go right into doing some massage, self-massage on the face. Right, so these muscles that we worked on, we just worked on, right? Some of them go up into our neck, right? And then they're tight, and they're pulling on our skull, right? And then all the tissue that comes up the back of our skull, right, to the front, right? And it can cause tension headaches, right? And even maybe some TMJ issues, right? Some jaw issues, clenching, right? When we're mad, we're angry, or we're tense. So we're going to try to loosen that up. So you're going to come to lie on your side, have your block. Right? So the block is going to act as a pillow for your head. I'm actually going to have to take out my earring, I think. And then the ball's going to go on top of the block. Right, and this arm is probably going to have to reach, right arm to the left, right, so you can get down. Ball. Let's do jaw first, okay? So the joint, you're going to find the joint. If you can't, not sure where it is, just open and close your mouth. And you should feel the joint move underneath your fingers. You're going to place the ball where that joint is. And then release down onto your pillow. And this might be enough. I can already feel sensation all the way into my eye and up into my forehead. Or you can open and close your mouth here. Hold it open if that feels good. You're going to take the ball and just roll it up towards your temple. So your temple, kind of right in this area, right on the side, above your ear, the side of your forehead. You might find there should be almost like a little divot, right? Or almost like a valley that the ball will sit nicely in. And you can just stay here, or you can even roll from side to side. So for those of you who do clench your jaw at night, this can be really, really good to help alleviate that. So trying it before you go to bed, right? And then seeing if that helps reduce. I know it's hard to tell when you're sleeping. Maybe if you have a partner or you can talk to your animal, they can tell you. All right, again, always the option to stay here if this is working for you, but I'm gonna move to the other side. Excuse me. So to the left side. I'm just gonna take a sip of tea. Okay. So set up your pillow. I have to take my other earring out. Alright, so again, you're aiming for right where the your jaw joint is. Right? So it's kind of in front of your ear, right? Medially towards your ear. And again, if you open and close, you should be able to feel it underneath. And just kind of mark that spot as you prepare to come down and place the ball there. You can hardly even see me. Let me just shift down a little bit. Okay. So maybe you're just chilling here with the ball in your jaw. This side doesn't feel as intense to me. Or you can open and close your jaw. And notice, I just noticed that I was holding my head up away from the ball, so I wasn't putting as much pressure. Just notice if you're holding your head in space. See if you can just kind of let it be soft. I know it's hard to do that without kind of rolling off of the ball. Also play with nodding your head. Again, you have control over this tool. If it feels good, do it. If it feels challenging, do it, as long as you can still breathe there. All right, we're going to move up to the temple. So lift your head up and you're just going to shift it. Again, the temple is kind of right here in this area. Okay, and there should be like a little valley, a notch kind of right where your hairline is-ish, if you have a hairline. I know my husband doesn't have a hairline, so you know that would be hard. A difficult reference point for him. Okay. So on your temple, maybe find that valley, a little kind of divot. It's almost as if the ball is meant to be there. And you can stay here, you can nod yes and no. You can even kind of press down in this kind of, like let your head fall forward, like the ball's gonna pop out but you don't let it. It's kind of pulling your skin, like you're kind of like you're getting a facelift, right? Isn't that what they do? They kind of like pull your skin back, give yourself a facelift. Damn, I look good. All right. I feel that one all the way down into my jaw, my neck, my back. It's all connected. All right, just take another inhale and exhale here. Stay if you want, otherwise we're moving on. All right, so just finish up here. All right, so you're gonna come to lie on your back again one last time. Oh my god, that just felt fabulous. Okay. How luxurious. Giving yourself, right, a massage. Yay. Yay, you. Alright, so have your feet hip width distance, soles of feet grounded. Graze the back of your heels. On your inhale, slowly lift pelvis, lift arms overhead. And then exhale, go ahead and release. Is there a more accessible quality to this movement? Keep doing this with your breath. Do you have more range of motion, maybe through your shoulders? Maybe you can actually touch your fingers to the ground above you. There's a less tension up through your throat and your head, really allowing you to feel connected through the back of your head. One more time. And as you're ready, you're just going to straighten your legs
out on the floor, the mats, palms face up. And giving yourself about 2 minutes just to settle here in this Shavasana shape, this restful shape. Again, so your body can acclimate to all of these, the changes of stimulation that you created, right, through your self-massage. All of the work that you did, right, this stillness allows change to take place. Notice if you can feel that. Staying here for as long as you like. If you feel like you're complete, you're more integrated into yourself, and be getting up and moving around and enjoying that freedom of movement.